Hello, I'm Tanya Dalton, owner of Inkwell Press, and today I want to talk to you about helping you deepen and even repair your relationship with other people. This includes your significant other, your close family members, even your good friends. Relationships are really important. Those connections are important to us because they really build into our happiness, which is one of the topics we've really been talking a lot about lately. So I wanted to talk to you about how to save your relationship with 2 words. Now, to understand why these 2 words are so powerful that they can actually repair and even deepen your relationship, I think it's important to first start with the 3 keys to stronger relationships. So let's go through those really quickly before I share with you those 2 words that you want to say. The first key is communication. And this is important in all relationships. Regardless of what those relationships are, communication is the foundation. And this requires 2 things: talking and listening. Now, we all have a pretty easy time with the talking part. It's the listening part that can be a little tougher to do, right? Because we really have to stop when we're having conversations and actively listen to what our partner or the person whose relationship we're wanting to be in, what they are saying, so we can really internalize it and act upon that. And this includes, if there's an issue, talking it out. Listen, nothing's going to change if the other person doesn't know about the issue. So communication is one of the biggest keys to having happier relationships. The second key is respect. Good relationships require respect on both ends. Respect cannot be a one-way street. You really need both people who are in their relationship respecting one another. You have to show up for each other. And that means when they ask for help, you have to give it so that you, in return, when you need help, get it from them. And this can feel hard, especially if in your relationship right now, you don't feel like there's a lot of respect coming to you. And it's easy to want to dig our heels in and just say, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to respect you because you don't respect me. I get it. But at the same time, we have to model the behavior that we want. And that means you have to show a little more respect in hopes that your partner will in return show respect back. Now, one of the places where I see disrespect oftentimes in relationships is when there's issues or there's things that are irritating, even tiny little irritations. And people want to air them out in public. They want to go out for girls' night and they want to complain about their husbands, or they want to carry on about what this person is doing to them. Listen, we don't talk about other people unless we're really willing to say it in front of them. And that holds true especially for the person who you're in this relationship with. Think about whether you want them to go to their friends and do that to you. We have to make sure we're showing respect on both ends of our relationship. The third key is empathy. We treat people the way that we want to be treated. It's the golden rule, right? Understanding that you're not always going to agree on everything is really important here. You're not always going to have the same opinions or the same thoughts about everything. Sometimes you will, but sometimes you won't. So we have to have empathy to understand their viewpoint. So it helps to ask them what they're thinking or what they're feeling. And instead of arguing back and really pushing back against them, really understand and try to dig deeper to see why they're digging their heels in on certain issues. For example, let's say your partner, your spouse, is really tight with finances, and this is kind of an irritation in your relationship. I would encourage you to dig in a little bit and really try to understand with some empathy where these feelings come from. Was there something in their childhood growing up that made a big difference in how they feel about finances? Once you get to the heart of that, you can really understand that and you can address that in your conversations. And that makes your conversations so much more productive instead of so argumentative. So I want to encourage you to always think about how that other person feels. So let me ask you, what do you think is the key to a good relationship? I would love for you to comment below and share what you believe is the key to strong relationships. Now, as I mentioned, I believe those 3 elements of communication, respect, and empathy, Those are the 3 keys to strong relationships. So if you combine all those together, you really come to the heart of what 2 words say. And those 2 words are thank you. It's important to show gratitude. It shows, first of all, communication. It shows respect, and it shows empathy. It's so important to express our gratitude to our partners. There are lots of little things in our day that we do for each other, like taking out the trash, or picking up the kids, or even the kind word about how you looked. We often forget that when we're so busy in our everyday lives, we forget to take time to express our gratitude for one another. And oftentimes when we're in a bad mood, the people we take it out on are the people we love most, because we know they love us unconditionally, so we feel free to kind of lash out at them. So saying thank you can really go far, especially if you're saying it on a regular basis. It makes a huge difference in relationships. As a matter of fact, there was a recent study at the University of Georgia of about 500 couples. And what they discovered was there was a very strong correlation between happiness in relationships and the number of times that spouses said thank you on a daily basis. The more times they said thank you, the happier the couple tended to be. Now, this is true, though, across the board, not just for spouses. This is true for coworkers, even bosses and friends. When we express our gratitude for other people, it helps brighten their day. It makes them feel better, and they begin to see the things that you are doing in return, and they'll probably start thanking you as well. So I encourage you to not just look for the big tasks. Look for the little things. Use it even in ways that are unexpected. You know what? Take 5 minutes today. You know what? Scratch that. Take 2 minutes today and write an email to someone who's done something kind for you in the past week. Only has to be 3 sentences. Thank you so much for whatever it is. I can promise you, especially because that email will come out of the blue, that will change that person's outlook entirely on their day. And it will draw you even closer together. People ask me all the time how John and I have a strong relationship because we work literally across a desk from each other. I like to tell people that we are together 26 hours a day because we are very rarely apart. We work together, we live together, we raise kids together. We're together a lot. But we really do appreciate each other. And I think it's because we have those 3 key elements and we say thank you all the time. The other day, we were working in the warehouse and both of us were moving heavy boxes and we were sweaty and gross and it was not a fun task. But in the middle of doing all of this, my husband looked over at me and he said, "Thank you. Thank you for working so hard with me." And it really made a huge difference in how I felt. So I want you to think about this. How will the people that you want to build these relationships with, how will they feel when you say thank you? Thank you are 2 short and simple, easy words to say, and I want to encourage you to say them more often. So really, do take those 2 minutes. Write an email today. See if it doesn't brighten that person's day. I bet it will brighten yours as well. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe because I will have a new video for you next Tuesday. And I do have a podcast episode that you might want to listen to on strengthening partnerships, where we go a little more in depth with how to build into these relationships. I also have several blog posts linked below, so be sure to check those out. All right, until next time, have a beautiful and productive week.